Hello everyone, George DeSantis here with the look at the market for the week ending Friday, September 18th. I hope you had a good weekend. It's now Sunday night, about 9:30, and I'm going to take a look at the market with you. And before we get going, we need to bring up a disclaimer here, which I'll do now, and just take a look at it. Make sure you understand that I'm not trying to give any particular advice to any particular person, because I couldn't possibly do that not knowing. I'm not a professional investment advisor to begin with. So this video is for my purposes, and I post it as a YouTube video, and anyone can take a look at it. Do whatever you wish with it. We'll begin by taking a look at the S&P 500, a weekly chart. So here's a weekly chart of the S&P 500. Just to go back a little bit in time, we hit the 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band here with this bar a number of weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And since that time, we've been pulling back. For the last 3 weeks now, we've been pulling back. So this bar was a pretty bearish bar. And then we went all the way down to the 9 EMA, the 9 exponential moving average, this red line here, okay? And I think I should move this down here. This is the 50. This is the 9 EMA, and we went all the way down here, and the markets closed just below the 9 EMA last week at 33.19. Now, if we don't hold there, 3,300 would be the 50% retracement level, see? 50%, right? Let's do this here. So the 50% Fibonacci retracement level would be this dotted line. And if we don't hold where we are here, we could easily end up at about 3,300. So that's about where we are now anyway. The next support level, or major support level, would be at the 618. And that would be 32.31 or so, 32.30, let's say, right? That would be the 618 Fibonacci retracement level. So that's where we stand. The 4 EMA is above the 9 above 30, or 30 above the 50-day. And so insofar as moving averages are concerned, even though we are seeing this weakness with this retracement or pullback, we still have the moving averages above each other, the shorter ones above the longer ones, so to speak. And we'll see where we go from here. On the negative side of things, we have the parabolic above the most recent bars, the last 2 weeks. Parabolic has switched to indicating that we're in a downtrend. All right, in a downtrend. Now go down to MACD histogram, the 1939.9, the one we use sell signals from. It's still in bullish territory above the 0 line. And even the 1226.9, the default setting, is above the 0 line just slightly. Now, Williams percentile is still above that magenta, minus 50 magenta line. So insofar as that is concerned, we don't see any indication here to give up the ghost. Notice that when I crunch a chart up, since Williams went above the magenta line here, way back here, which is what, back in April, somewhere around April, April 9, it's remained up there, even though we've had this pullback. The sum of the rate of change indicator is a little more volatile, a little more sensitive, but it's still above that 4% line. So except for the parabolic dots, we still have an uptrend insofar as the weekly chart is concerned. Take it for what it is. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Now on the daily chart, you could see that breakdown here, the 4 cross below the 9 EMA, and it's still there. It's still below the 9. So there is still some work to do to change this picture and to begin a new uptrend. However, what I was pointing out to you in previous videos is that you can see that support, there was resistance rather at around 34.28. Resistance at this line here. We hit it, we came back down, we hit it again, and we came back down again. Okay, so where are we now? Well, we're sitting just above that 50-day moving average. The magenta line here is the 50-day moving average, exponential moving average. So the question becomes, are we going to hold at the 50-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, or are we going to collapse even more and go down to that 618 retracement level, this line here, which I said was 32.30 or so. It's possible that we have a triple bottom, if you consider this a downtrend, and we have one bottom, a W formation or triple bottom, 1, 2, 3. It's also possible to make a case for head and shoulder, a reverse or inverse head and shoulder pattern, where you have your head here and your shoulder here and your shoulder here. Now, I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in that, but I do think it's possible to look at this as a triple bottom, as long as we hold above this 50-day moving average. Right now we're below it. Right now we're close below the 50-day moving average. But we'll see where we go from here. Now, the parabolic, again, is above the most recent bars. So parabolic is saying downtrend. Okay. Now, if you go down to, I think that's enough on that. If you go down to MACD, you can see that MACD continues since it broke down here. We saw that breakdown. We're still continuing with this downtrend. Okay, but we seem to be in a trading range here. Not so much a heavy downtrend, but a trading range. We'll see if the support at 50-day moving average holds. Now, insofar as the other MACD histogram is concerned, with the default settings, 12.26.9, we were trending up a bit, and I was taking a little solace from that, or being more encouraged by that. But then we pulled back here on Thursday and Friday. So when we look at the Williams percent R, it broke down here. Right here it broke down. And we're still below that magenta line. And also some of the rate of change indicator did the same thing. So we still have some work to do. And we'll wait to see if we actually hold here the 50-day moving average. Market is oversold at this point, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Here's a chart of the SPY, which is an ETF of the S&P, of course. And you can see that the SPY is oversold. It's below this 10% line here. It's now at what we call the extreme level of 1.3. So it's way below 10. So that's very oversold. We can see these other indicators here. RSI 12 is indicating that it's below the 50% line. And also, Williams percent R is indicating a very oversold condition. Notice that when Williams is oversold here, it tended to rally. We'll take a look at something else. Here's the best choice chart of SPY, and what you can see here is that just as we rallied and became overbought here and overbought on this indicator, we pulled back to the 200-day and rallied again. We became overbought again. More recently, as everyone knows, we pulled back. Now we're getting an oversold buy signal from shaking. It's very oversold. And even though you see money flow has fallen off because there was a lot of selling, of course. But the market is still above that 200-day moving average. So this oversold condition is likely to be resolved to the upside. In other words, when markets are oversold, we tend to get a rally. Same thing is looking at on the discretionaries. These are the sectors. Okay, discretionary oversold buy. It doesn't mean you rush out and buy, but you put it on your watch list and take a good look. Here we have the oversold indicator. The discretionaries are showing very good relative strength, and it's bullish, very bullish in fact, on this indicator here. And you can see that the same thing holds true. It was very overbought, now it's oversold. The same thing is true of XLK, which is the information technology sector. You can see it's just sitting around that 200-day moving average, and it's also giving us that oversold buy signal. So we might just see a turnaround. Who knows? We'll get back to the shaking analytics software in a minute, but let's take a look at some stockcharts.com charts. This is a new high, new low index. Notice that it's still showing us 573 new highs versus new lows. It crossed, as you remember, if we look at the weekly chart, you'll see it on the weekly chart. Remember that when we broke down here in March, my friend Alex said, look, when we cross above that minus 4,000 line, this line here, watch out, we're going back up. Well, we went back up, and sure enough, we're still up there. So I don't see any reason to be too alarmed, even though we've had a real correction here, you know. Let's look at another chart. This is the SPX. Now, SPX is telling us we have an impulse indicator bar of red. So it's saying, be cautious here, you're not allowed to buy. So get ready, but be careful, you know. Now, if I look down here, I could see that Williams is oversold. Williams per centaur, when it was oversold in this region, what happened? We got a nice rally from there. And so we'll see if that happens again. The next one we could look at is the percentage of stocks of the S&P 100 above the 200-day moving average. This looks pretty good to me. It's still above 50. It's at 64. So there you go. That's what we got on the stockcharts.com. I'll go back to Shaken Analytics to take a look at some individual stocks and ETFs. The first one here is ARK, the ARK FinTech Innovation ETF, and you can see that it's a global equity fund ETF. These ARK ETFs have had really nice runs since March, since the low in March 23rd, okay, March 19 or 23rd. But it became overbought, and now it's very oversold. This list here is a list of stocks from many of these lists that I have. I look for stocks that are oversold or in that category. In other words, I want to see stocks that are giving us a really good picture in terms of the checklist. Okay, checklist should be mostly green, and I want to know that they are oversold. So here we go. So ARK is not a stock; it's an ETF. So you don't get the checklist, but it's oversold. Relative strength is pretty strong. It's very bullish. Okay, if I move my picture here, I don't know if it'll show you that. But you can see it's very bullish, and I like any of these ARK things look pretty good. HOFT, that's a household hooker furniture company. If you put his checklist on now, you'll see very bullish, and it's becoming oversold. It became overbought, now pull back. iBuy, that is a global equity ETF online, and it's very oversold now. Now, I don't own all of these things, of course. I own some of these. Many of my stocks are listed here. So I'm just showing you stocks that you might put on your watch list, and you do your own research and see whether you want to take a chance with any of them and buy any of them. So iBuy is one. Lowe's, have to take a look at the time here. Lowe's, we can see that was oversold. I bought some of it when it was oversold, and now it's oversold. It's now in neutral territory, but I like the relative strength, the money flow, etc. The Chinese automobile maker, electric car maker, was oversold and is ticking up a lot of money. Money flow is strong, so it looks good. By the way, if you want, you could take your cell phone and take a picture of this list, and you'll have it, you know. Target, I have Target, and it was oversold, and it's trending up. I can't go through all of them because I'm only allowed 15 minutes. So take a picture here, and then what I'll do is I'll give you the rest of them by doing this, and you could take a picture of the rest of them, okay? You'll see this is a stock that we like very much, a group of us who met today. This is Wayfair, and it looks very good. It was oversold. It's trending up from that 200-day average, now above the 21-day, and the checklist is pretty good. Folks, that's all the time we have. We only allowed 15 minutes here. So have a great day and great evening, and we'll try and do this again next weekend.